agent at Aussizz Group. So we'll just wait for a few minutes, a few seconds, so more people can join, and then I will start my today's presentation on the topic. So those who are joining us now, so just briefly introduce myself again. So I am Ehsan. I'm registered migration agent at Aussizz Group. My topic for today's seminar is partner visa. So before I start explaining you about the process, we are going to discuss offshore partner visa, onshore partner visa, and prospective marriage visa. So these are the three topics that I will be discussing today. And once I have explained it, I will be taking your questions through Facebook or through other channels. So if you have any question meanwhile, you can just post it below in comment section of Facebook, and I'll be able to address all those questions at the end of this after I finished my live stream. Now, let's get started. So okay, so this, as I discussed earlier, this seminar is related to partner visa. And so starting with who can apply for a partner visa. Okay, so the applicant must be, so the applicant who is applying for partner visa must be either engaged, married, or be in a de facto relationship with Australian citizen, permanent PR visa holder, permanent resident, or eligible New Zealand citizen. So these are the three categories. If you are in relationship with these, you can apply for a partner visa. Now, there are three types of partner visas, or three ways. As I said, one is if you are in Australia, while at the time of lodgement of your visa application, you can go for onshore partner visa. If you are offshore at the time of lodgement of the partner visa, then it's offshore partner visa. And the third is prospective marriage visa, and I'll be discussing all three. Now, starting with onshore partner visa process, basically. So when you lodge a partner visa application, it's subclass 820801. That's the subclass name for partner visa. After submitting partner visa, you will first receive a provisional visa grant, which is 820, also known as stage 1. And then you have to wait 2 years from the 820 visa application lodgement date. And then you can become eligible for partner permanent, which is subclass 801. Okay, so if an applicant is in Australia and they lodge application for a valid application for a partner visa onshore, they will get a bridging visa A associated with that, okay, which will allow them to stay here until the decision is made on their application. And once they receive stage 1 grant, they are on 820 visa from that date. So that's one advantage of lodging application onshore, that you get a bridging visa A and you can live with your partner in Australia. Now, there are certain eligibility requirements. One of them I discussed earlier, which is that you must be in a relationship with Australian citizen, permanent visa holder, or eligible New Zealand citizen. In addition to that, so there are three types of relationships, basically, which, actually there are two types of relationships, but to make it more clear to you for your understanding, option 1 is if you prove that you are in a de facto relationship. Now, to prove that you are in a de facto relationship under option 1 category, you must be living together for at least 12 months. Okay, so you must have proved that you have lived together for 12 months till that before lodging partner visa application. Second option is if you haven't lived together for 12 months and you have registered your relationship with relevant state authority, then you can still become eligible under de facto category. Option 3 is if you are legally married in Australia, okay, or overseas, of course. So you should have a marriage certificate to prove that. Now, you can be married in any country for this purpose, but that marriage should be lawfully recognized in that country. Then, so if you are, let's say, for example, married overseas in any country and you use that marriage certificate here, it can be used if it is a legal marriage in your country of where you registered your marriage. So these are the three options. Now, this is not enough. So you still have to prove other aspects of relationship. Now, how to prove your genuineness and continuation of relationship? Because first thing that department requires in this visa is that you have mutual commitment to each other. Okay. Now, to prove that and prove that your relationship is genuine and continuing, there are 4 key factors that you have to satisfy. First is that social awareness of the relationship. So are people aware about your relationship? It can be your family, it can be your friends. So that's the first part. And you'll have to get declaration from 2 of your friends or who know you and who know that you are in relationship. That's the first part. Second is financial commitment. Okay, so in financial commitment, you have to prove that basically you are financially committed to each other. Now that can be proven by if you have a joint asset, joint liabilities, or you have, let's say a joint bank account, or, you have any other financial commitments, mostly joint. Third is your living arrangements or contact while apart. Okay, so of course, for this visa, if partner is in Australia, you are expected to live together. But if you are not living together for some reason, you must not live apart for longer duration. So, and you have to prove that that you are living together. And how to prove that is basically providing your documents related to lease, bills, etc. All those things will prove that you are living together. Now, for example, for some period, if you have lived apart, there is some assignment or, for work related matter or something which is compelling, you must prove that you were contact while apart. So that can be generally, these days, it can be proven by multiple things, including chat, call logs, chat history, and these kind of things. Then you also have to prove that you are mutually committed to each other. To prove mutual commitment, so one is that, of course, you are in relationship de facto or married. And then, you provide your photos, you provide your statements, which are very important, basically where you explain how your relationship developed. It can be in form of a declaration, but you have to basically prove that you are committed to each other and you are, you have long-term commitment, and in which you tell about your, relationship goals and where you want to be and how you see yourself as a couple. Now, partner visa on other than that, there are certain other requirements, let's say health and character. So both sponsor and applicant must meet character requirements, and applicant has to meet health requirements. Okay, so that's in addition to that. Now here is a chart which shows, it's not for just partner visa offshore, but generally how partner visa works. Now, the one that we were discussing was 820. Okay, so if you see in middle, so generally, or your partner can be on any visa in Australia if you want to lodge partner visa, but that visa should not have a no further stay condition. Okay, so for example, if your partner is here on a visitor visa and there is she does not have or he does not have a no further stay condition attached to it, then you can go for and you can lodge partner visa onshore, which is subclass 820. Now, if your partner is offshore, then you go and lodge subclass 309 from while applicant is offshore. And once the visa is granted, applicant is able to come to Australia and then they can live here and then wait for 100. I'll come to that. I'll discuss that in detail. The third option here, you see the first chart, the first on the left side is prospective marriage visa, which is subclass 300. So this is for applicants who are not married yet, who are in a relationship, engaged, but they want to spend some time together before they decide to get married. Okay, so you can apply for this visa before marriage, but once you get the visa, partner must come to Australia, you get married, and then you'll have to apply for subclass 820, that process is similar to what we have discussed on last slides. Now, I'll quickly go through the requirements as well for each prospective and offshore as well. So for prospective marriage, as I said, applicant must be engaged to Australian citizen, permanent visa holder, or eligible New Zealand citizen. Also, the applicant and sponsor must have met in person and they have to provide evidence of engagement. And as I told you earlier, so once 300 visa is granted, they must get married within 9 months of entry in Australia and then apply for 820-801 visa. Now, in this, basically, there has been, department has given more leniency in terms of the duration for 300 visa. So they are giving more time for you to get married, but this is the standard time that generally you can expect. For offshore visa, as I said, applicant has to be offshore at the time of lodgement. Okay, so let's say you are married or you're in a de facto relationship with your partner and your partner is offshore as of now, you can submit a 309 visa application while your partner is offshore. They can wait for grant, and once it is granted, they can come to Australia and start living. Now, if you want to call them into Australia in between, so let's say if you have lodged 309 visa, you can still apply for a tourist visa or visitor visa, subclass 600, and your partner will be able to come to Australia meanwhile. Now, the duration of that visa can vary. It can be 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, depending on case officers, like how much case officers discretion. So, but on 309 visa, applicant has to be offshore at the time of lodgement, and these days for grant, applicant can be in Australia. But generally, for grant, applicant has to be offshore once this COVID concession period is over. Now, after 2 years, again, from the date of lodgement of 309 visa, applicant can apply for subclass 100 visa, which is a permanent visa. Again, in this, you have to prove social awareness of the relationship, financial commitment, living arrangements, and mutual commitments. So in this, when applicant is offshore, the only thing is that you will not have much proofs of your cohabitance. You cannot prove that you have been living together for a long time. So you can prove that by, as I discussed in earlier slide, that you are in contact while apart. So that thing can come there. And mutual commitment, it's there in like other visas, it's there. Also, if it is onshore or offshore, they have to meet character requirement and health requirement, both. So character requirement, one thing to be noted here is that character requirement must be met by both sponsor and applicant. Okay, so if either of them does not meet the requirement, it can result in a refusal. And health requirement is like other visas, health requirement is also part of it. Okay. Now, generally, I do get question related to onshore and offshore partner visas where people are married, but then, they think that they don't have to prove aspects of relationship. Now, but still, the four aspects that you see on my screen right now, they are equally important, even if you are in a de facto relationship or you are married. Okay, so you still have to prove all these aspects. If you miss any of these, department can request for more information, or department can, refuse your application on the grounds that your relationship is not genuine and continued. So it's very important that you, whenever you are lodging a partner visa application, you make sure that you have satisfied all these four factors. Now, so basically that's pretty much it about this partner visa. Now I'll take questions if there are any, and yeah, and then we will end this session. So Karan has asked that if will partner have full working rights while she is on a bridging visa A if they have lodged partner visa onshore? So the answer is yes, but it also depends on which bridging visa they will be holding. If it is a bridging visa A, and for example, they were on a visitor visa, they lodged a valid application in Australia, and they got a bridging visa A. Once that comes into effect, that's the most important part. So bridging visa A will only come into effect once your substantive visa, the previous visa that you are holding, expires. Okay. So for example, Karan, if your partner is on a visitor visa, which is expiring on 30th of June, and you lodge partner visa application today, now she will get a bridging visa A today, but it will not come into effect. It will come into effect from 1st of July. And from that date onwards, yes, she will have full work rights, and you can also request for Medicare. So because you have submitted a permanent visa application. I hope I've answered your question. I have another question here. So suppose. Yeah, so Muhyiddin, yeah, that's what he has asked a question that if he brings his partner who is offshore currently on a visitor visa to Australia and then lodge a partner visa onshore, it's possible, as I said earlier, but partner must not, so the visa must, so it's possible to lodge a valid application onshore, but there should not be no further strict 8503 condition should not be attached to that visitor visa. Okay. So, and then visitor visa, look, a visitor visa is a separate visa by itself, and department will look into the fact that if applicant coming to Australia has genuine intentions to visit, or they are coming here for permanent residency, or they want to stay here for longer period. So department does give weightage to the fact that if she has any incentives to return back home. So case is generally stronger if they have incentives to return, along with other factors, of course, but this is one of the most important factor in visitor visa. And yes, visitor visa can be refused on the grounds of not meeting GTE criteria. Okay, so the question is, if wedding is happening in India and applicant is currently on a student visa, can they apply for partner visa offshore? Look, so there is no issue with applying for a partner visa because you are married. You are entitled to it, and it will not affect partners entry into Australia if they are holding another substantive visa. So if they're a genuine student, they are studying, then they should be able to come back to Australia on a student visa because their course is in progress. Now, another thing you can do is you can, of course, lodge a partner visa while applicant is in Australia. In that case, you can get a bridging visa once their student visa expires. So I've got a question that how long are the processing times for onshore application? Look, currently in this financial year, we have seen that for partner visa processing has been really fast. In many cases, a department granted, if it was, I can tell you from my own experience or the cases that we have done here, partner visas, we have seen grants in 2, 3 months or 5, 6 months on average. Okay. But of course, having said that, application has to meet all criteria. And you should submit a decision ready application for that. Generally, you can processing times keep on changing for onshore and offshore applications both. And generally, historically speaking, they are between 1 to 2 years most of the times. But if you have submitted a decision ready application, sometimes you can get decision sooner. And that's what has happened in last 1 year. Yeah, so Purva has asked that can a prospective marriage visa be applied before the actual wedding day? Look, so the purpose of prospective marriage visa is that you want to get married after you get you want to get married after you get the visa. Okay, and till now you are not married. So if you are engaged to your partner, you lodge prospective marriage visa. Once they get prospective marriage visa, applicant comes to Australia and then you get married. Okay. If you get married in between, before that, your prospective marriage visa application will be changed to partner visa. Yeah, so Karan has asked a question that his partner has applied for, so has a visitor visa, which is for 3 years, expiry is 3 years, but it has a condition that it's 3 months from each date of entry, if I understand it correctly. So once that 3 months period expire, the bridging visa A will come into effect if she has lodged a valid application, as I said earlier. So she does not have to wait for 3 years because she has 3 months from the date of entry. Okay, each from date of each entry. So if she stays another day on top of that and she hasn't applied for any other visa, she becomes a lawful non-citizen. But if she has lodged a visa and she was issued a bridging visa associated with that, then of course your partner will get bridging. So her bridging visa A will get active after that date, after that 3 months period. Okay, I'm just waiting for some more questions. So I've got another question from Rachana, that what is the processing time for offshore partner visa? Look, Rachana, as I've just answered that question for another client of mine. So for offshore partner visa or for onshore partner visa, processing was a bit fast, but for offshore partner visa, main thing is, it also depends what is the processing where that application is being processed, from which country that application was lodged. And processing times can vary from each country to country, but generally it's 1 year to 2 years most of the time. But these days, because department had more allocation for partner visa, we have seen most visa grants in less than 1 year, where applications were decision ready. And she's also asked that can she apply for visitor visa until she gets a partner visa? Yes, Rachna, you can apply. You can apply for visitor visa while you are waiting for 309 grant. But then please note that you still have to, applicants still have to meet all the requirements for visitor visa. And generally in these cases, this is what I recommend. But of course, then we have to assess if applicant, what are the chances of getting visitor visa? That's a separate discussion. But yes, you can lodge a visitor visa. Karan has asked a question that he has applied for 190. Should he add her partner into visa application now? So my question is, Karan, if you're saying she is your partner, then I'm not sure what points you have claimed in your visa application. So if you have a partner, not so, just to be on a safe side, you should not enter into a relationship if you have claimed points for single applicant, okay, until you get your visa grant, okay, because relationship requirement, you claim 10 points for single applicant when you lodge 190 EOI and when you are invited. And then later on, it's better, it's more safe that you don't get into relationship as of now if you are not into one, and then wait for 190 grant. And then if you are getting married or you are getting into de facto relationship, you can lodge partner visa. So I've got another question, which says that when the sponsoring partner is on a 491 visa and the plan is to get onto PR after a few years, do the process and conditions stay the same after visa grant? I didn't quite get it. I'll just read it once again. So look, I think your question is not that clear. So if you're asking that, so if you're on a 491 visa, you will be applying for 491 subsequent entrant for your partner. Yeah. And then you lodge 191 visa application once you become eligible for that, and you both get permanent residency together. Or if you are not into relationship right now, you lodge 191 visa once you become eligible, and then you can apply for partner visa for your you apply for partner visa same like these, but that's once you have 191 visa. If you want to include your partner or you want to apply for your partner before that while you are holding 491 visa, then you'll have to lodge 491 subsequent entrant visa. So Apurva, I have discussed the kind of evidences that department looks into, or a few the requirements or the areas that department will consider. So those are basically social awareness related to financial commitment, mutual commitment, and your living arrangements. So anything in these, you will have to prove. Jimmy has asked that, is it okay to get married after 820 grant, but before 801? Yes, look, so you haven't applied for prospective marriage. You have applied for a partner visa and you can get married. So if you are in a de facto at the time of lodgement and you want to get married later on during the process, yes, you can get married. There is no issue with that because you are lodging subclass 820, and you can be either in a de facto relationship or married. So both are fine. So Purva has again asked in arranged marriage, they don't know each other. So yes, this is the question that I get, I get a lot. So look, that's fine. Even if you are in arranged marriage, still you don't have to prove that you had all those factors or you meet all those requirements before you got married. Okay, of course, in arranged marriage, department do understand that it's, in some cultures you do get into arranged marriage, but then once you are married, then you should be able to prove all those factors, and that's what department is mainly looking into. So once it doesn't matter if it is love marriage or arranged marriage or but if you are legally married, after that you can get, let's say for example, you can still have financial commitment after getting married. You can get married in a ceremony, or you will invite your friends or family members, so you can provide those proofs. You can provide your living arrangements proof after marriage. So that can, all these documents you can still provide. You can still meet all the criteria even if you are if it is engaged, if it is arranged marriage. Okay, I'm just looking for the other questions. Yeah, so I think I don't have any other question now. If anyone watching would like to ask any question, you can just post it in comment section of our Facebook page or YouTube or LinkedIn, and I will be able to answer that. Or otherwise, you can reach us on contact details provided on the screen, and we will be able to help you with your inquiry. Just waiting for just 1 or 2 minutes before we just finish this live session. Yes, so I've got another question that's related to, again, onshore partner visa. And so that if applicant wants to travel overseas while while they are waiting for their partner visa grant in Australia. So it depends which visa are they holding. If they are on a substantive visa, they can travel without any issues. But if they are a holder of bridging visa A, they can get bridging visa B and can travel overseas. So it does not, yes, bridging visa A does not give you travel rights, but if you get a bridging visa B, you will be able to travel. Or if they are already holding a substantive visa, then they can travel on that. So it does not stop you from traveling. So, again, this is something common. People say that, okay, if they have one partner is traveling, department might question that why, they are living apart, but it's just travel. You can, one of you can visit your family or can go for just for tourism or just can go for work purpose. That's fine. It does not come under, living apart for longer duration. But yes, if it is for significant period, let's say 3 months, 4 months, or 5 months, something like that, then there has to be a genuine reason why you are not staying together. Yeah, so that these were all the questions. I believe today's session was helpful for all of you who watched. And if you have any questions or queries, you have our contact details, you can always reach out to us, Aussizz Group. We have offices across Australia, and you can visit nearest branch or can call us on our numbers. Again, thank you for to all of you for joining, and stay safe and have a good evening.